Hello there, Steve here. Good morning. Day 19 of my 90-day YouTube challenge. Okay, so I am centered here in the middle of the screen this morning, which is more traditional. I don't know why, when I hear things like break the rules, I want to break all the rules. So like the rule of thirds, if you ever seen a grid, I just have this temptation to want to break it and shoot my video where I'm like over here, and I'm like over here, and not in the center, because traditionally when someone talks to you about shooting a video, it's like, make sure you're front and center. But that's one of the old adages that they always talk about when you're taking a, let's say, business class or you're reading a motivation book. They say break all the rules. Until you start to break them, then people are like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, there's some rules you shouldn't break. So, hey, over here, okay, see, I'm breaking all the rules. So, or maybe they're unknown rules, kind of like the unwritten rules that are in a book somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, here we go today. Morning ritual. Switch some things up a little bit. I woke up really early this morning. So, in fact, I did a sleep meditation this morning to try to get myself back to sleep. Was very unsuccessful in my sleep meditation. I didn't get back to sleep. So, when in doubt, I can sit there and drown in my thoughts, or I can get to work. So what I did is I have a project right now, the Stephen Thompson Revolution blog, and on my blog I'm working on my novel, The Adventures of Aquafunkapus and His Band of Misfit Heroes. So what I did is I have a student at my school who I'm going to commission to do artwork for some of my characters for the novel. So what I did is I found some conceptual art for inspiration to be able to give to her to make the drawing. So did that, sent those over to my work email, going to print them out today, and I'm going to be able to help her. She is going to be able to do the artwork for me. Here's an important thing for school leaders that I want to emphasize. If you're a school leader, your dedication is to work with students. I know that as time goes on, as you advance up the ladder, you still need to carve out time to work with students. Because remember, you got an educational degree. You did not get a degree, maybe you did get a degree that was paper driven. So just remember that. So I carve out time in my career to work with students because I believe that schools are for children. That's what Seth Godin says. You have to ask in a business, who is it for? And what change do you seek to make? So I seek to serve students, okay? And I'm helping them take charge of their own learning. And I always have to remember that. The next thing that I want to emphasize this morning is this. You hear a lot of times people will say to you, remember what's important. And then they will talk about their family immediately after that. And I think in a time like this, where we're obviously in a historic moment, history is being written, we can just at least agree on that. How it's being done and what decisions are being made, we can adjudicate that, and we will adjudicate that when it's all over with. But we can all agree there are unprecedented events occurring in our world right now. And like last night, the NBA canceled the season. I love sports tremendously. I could go on for hours talking about sports and my love of sports and growing up in Chicago during the Bulls run, with their 6 championships, and now living in LA and watching the Lakers win 5 championships with Phil Jackson. Never really was a Laker fan because I was bitter because Phil left the Bulls. So it was hard for me to get behind the Lakers. That's another episode where I'll talk about, the sports teams being almost like your wife, and cheering for another team is like committing adultery. But before I veer too far, here's what I want to talk about. Everything we do, most of the things we do are important. But I want to talk about the difference between importance and priorities. And in a time like this, I want us to say, remember your priorities, or what are your priorities? So here's how it plays out. Yesterday, I was at work and I had a disagreement with an official at the local school district. And it's sort of like I was very respectful, and always be respectful in disagreements, and always follow up a disagreement with an email, because you always want to keep a paper trail. That's how I was trained, as an administrator. That way you are above reproach. I believe in being ethical, and I believe in being above reproach. So a paper trail protects me, and it protects someone else. It also opens me up for accountability if I am doing something incorrect that needs to be changed. And that's an important thing as a leader, to be open to accountability and for people to point out to you what you did wrong. And we could agree to disagree. I could call it simply a Saul and Barnabas moment from the book of Acts, where Saul went one way and Barnabas went another way. And after I did that, I had to think about my priorities. I was upset about the situation, but then I said, you know what? My best friend from high school is flying into town today. He's on a layover. I'm going to go visit him at his hotel with his new partner and his son, and I'm going to pick up my son, and we're going to go meet him. And that's what I did. I drove out to the area. We had a great time catching up, reminiscing. Afterwards, my son and I went for dinner, came home, helped him with his homework. Those are priorities. So, my job, important. My family, priority. In all of our lives, we have priorities and we have things that are important. It's not a sense of neglecting the things that are important, but emphasizing the things that are your priorities. So, priorities. Have a great day. Day 19. Remember, check me out. Stephen Thompson Revolution, Adventures of Aquafunkapus and his band of misfit heroes. Stephen Thompson Experience Podcast. Coming up on 3 years. Gonna have a special show next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.